Hi everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm Ramel Magcalas, your subject teacher for General Mathematics. In many aspects of modern life, mathematics plays an important role. In the field of business, mathematics is essential in analyzing markets, predicting stock market prices, business decision-making, forecasting production, financial analysis, and in business operation in general. This module will introduce the student to the basic concept of business mathematics such as simple and compound interest. What I need to know. The following are the learning objectives for this module. First is to illustrate simple interest and the compound interest. We also need to distinguish between a simple interest and a compound interest. At the previous modules, the basic concept and functions were introduced. Functions were used as mathematical models. These are abstract models that use mathematical language to describe relationships. With the notion of mathematical modeling, mathematics is concerned not only with the measure of the physical world, but it has also expanded its applicability to science, both social and biological, business and finance. So with this, lesson relating to business and finance will then be introduced specifically on simple interest. When you save money to the bank, you will gain an interest paid by the bank. On the other hand, when you borrow money, you are charged an interest on the amount you borrowed. But how does gain interest and charge interest are computed? Before we move on, let us define first the following terms.
Definition of terms. Here are some important terms to remember. Interest, the amount paid or earned for the use of money. Simple interest, I subscript S, is the interest that is computed on the principal and then added to it. Compound interest, I subscript C, the interest is computed on the principal and on the accumulated past interest. Principal value, the amount of money borrowed or invested on the original date. Rate, the annual rate, usually in percent, charged by the lender, or rate of increase of the investment. Time or term, it is the amount of time in years the money is borrowed or invested. Length of time between the origin and the maturity dates. Maturity value or future value. It is amount after 2 years that the lender receives from the borrower on the maturity date. Origin date. The date on which money is received by the borrower. Maturity date, the date on which the money borrowed or loaned is to be completely repaid. Lender or creditor, the person or institution that invests the money or makes the funds available. The borrower or debtor, the person or institution that owes the money or avails of the funds from the lender.
Simple interest. For every financial transaction, whether you borrow or invested a certain amount, a corresponding percentage of the principal called interest is being paid.
Simple interest. Simple interest is the interest charged on the principal alone for the entire duration or period T of the loan or investment at a particular rate R. Formula we use for simple interest is I subscript S is equals to P R T, where I subscript S is the simple interest, P is the principal value, R is the rate of interest or simply rate, and T is the time in year. After the term of the loan or investment, the maturity value or future value F is computed by getting the sum of the principal value and the interest due formula we use for maturity value, F is equals to P plus I subscript S, where I subscript S is the simple interest and P is the principal value. Here are the derived formulas of simple interest. For finding the simple interest, we have simple interest is equals to the product of the principal value times rate and time. For finding the value, for future value, we have future value is equals to the sum of the principal value and the simple interest. We can also use future value is equals to the sum of principal value, the product of the principal value, rate, and time. Lastly, we can also use future value is equals to the product of principal value and the parentheses of the sum of 1 and the product of the rate and time. For finding the principal value, we have the formulas. Principal value is equals to the quotient of the simple interest and the product of its rate and time. Or you can use principal value is equals to the difference of future value and the simple interest. Finding the time in year, we have time is equals to the quotient of simple interest and the product of principal value and its rate. While finding the rate of interest, we have the formula. Rate is equals to the quotient of simple interest and the product of the principal value and its time.
Please be noted, if the given time is in month, it can be converted to the year using the formula T is equals to number of months divided by 12.
For better understanding for this formula, let us put it in an example. Direction. Complete the table below by solving the unknown quantities in each row. Let us answer number 1. Number 1. In number 1, we need to solve for simple interest and the future value. Here are the formulas we are going to use. For finding the simple interest, we have, and for finding the future value, we have. Let us now solve for simple interest. Please be noted that rate must be converted into decimal. To solve this, rate is equals to the quotient of the given rate and 100%. So in this example, we have R is equals to 0.125. Let us continue the solution. Use the formula in finding the simple interest. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. The final answer for simple interest is 625,000 pesos. Next is to find the future value. Use the formula in finding the future value. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Final answer for the future value is 1,125,000 pesos. Number 2. In number 2, we need to solve the principal value and the future value. Here are the formulas we are going to use. For finding the principal value, we have, and for finding the future value, we have this formula. Let us now solve for the principal value. Again, please be noted that rate must be converted into decimal. To solve this, rate is equals to the quotient of the given rate and 100%. So in this example, we have R is equals to 0.025. Let us continue the solution. Use the formula in finding the principal value. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. The final answer for principal value is 15,000 pesos. Next is to find the future value. Use the formula in finding the future value. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. The final answer for future value is 16,500 pesos. Number 3. In number 3, we need to solve the rate and the future value. Here are the formulas we are going to use. For finding the rate, we have this formula. And for finding the future value, we have these formulas. Now, let us solve for its rate. Please be noted that time must be converted into year. And how to convert months into years? We need to use this formula. T is equals to number of months divided by 12. In this example, we have 1 year and 6 months. So we need to convert 6 months into year. So we have T is equals to 6 divided by 12. Or T is equals to 0.5. We need to add this to the existing 1 year. Therefore, the total year is equals to 1 plus 0.05. We have 1.5 years. Now, let us continue the solution. Use the formula in finding the rate. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Please be noted that rate must be converted into percentage. To convert the answer to percentage, we need to multiply it by 100%. So, we have R is equals to 0.09 multiplied by 100%, or the rate is equals to 9%. Next is to find the future value. Use the formula in finding the future value. Then, substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. The final answer for future value is 40,860 pesos. For the last number, in number 4, we need to solve the time and the future value. Here are the formulas we are going to use. For finding the time, we have this formula. And for finding the future value, we have these formulas. Let us now solve for the time. Please be noted that rate must be converted into decimal. To solve this, rate is equal to the quotient of the given rate divided by 100%. In this example, we have R is equal to 0.005. Let us now continue the solution. Use the formula in finding the time. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Our final answer for time is 1.12 years. Next is to find the future value. Use the formula in finding the future value. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Our final answer for the future value is 251,400 pesos. Now, let us have an example of problem solving involving simple interest. Number 1. A bank offers 1.5% annual simple interest rate for a particular deposit. How much interest will be earned if 1 million peso is deposited in the savings account for 1 year? In this example, we need to find the interest. Given are the following. We have the rate, the principal value, and time. This is the formula we are going to use in finding the interest. Use the formula in finding the interest. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. The final answer for interest is 15,000 pesos. Number 2. When invested at an annual interest rate of 7%, the amount earned, 11,200 peso, is simple interest in 2.5 years. How much money was originally invested? In this example, we need to find the principal value. Given are the following. We have the rate, the interest, and the time. This is the formula we are going to use. Use the formula in finding the principal interest. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Our final answer for principal value is 64,000 pesos. Number 3. Ricky borrowed 25,000 pesos and paid 1,250 pesos interest for 6 months. What was the rate of interest? In this example, we need to find the rate. Given are the following. We have the principal value, the interest, and the time. It is converted into year. The formula we are going to use is the formula in finding the rate. Now, use the formula in finding the rate. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Our final answer for rate is 10%. Number 4. How long in years will it take for 17,300 pesos to amount to 20,000 pesos at 11.25% simple interest? In this example, we need to find the time. Given are the following. We have the principal value, the future value, and its rate. That is converted into decimal. This is the formula we're going to use. Now, before we use the formula in finding the time, we need to use first the formula to find the interest. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform its operation. The final interest for this is 2,700 pesos. We now have the value of interest, that is 2,700 pesos. Therefore, we can now proceed in using the formula in finding the time. Substitute the given to the formula. Now perform the operation. The final answer for time is 1.39 years.
Compound interest is usually used by the bank in calculating interest for long-term investment and loans such as saving account and time deposit. In this type of interest, the interest due at a stipulated interval is added to the principal and earned interest thereafter. It implies that the principal increases over a period of time, resulting to an increase in interest earned at every compounding period.
Problem solving involving compound interest. 50,000 pesos was loaned for a period of 3 years with 5% interest compounded annually. What amount of money will be needed to repay the loan? In this kind of interest, we need to use the formula in finding the simple interest and the formula in finding the future value. Let us do the first year of this example and use the simple interest. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. The final answer for simple interest is 2,500 pesos. Now, let us perform the future value. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Final answer for future value is 52,500 pesos, which is the amount at the end of the first year. Now, we will continue to its second year. To its second year, the new principal value is the future value we saw in its first year, which is 52,500 pesos. Let us now do the simple interest. Substitute the given to the formula. Now perform the operation. Final answer for simple interest is 2,625 pesos. For the future value, substitute the given to the formula. Now perform the operation. The final answer for future value is 55,125 pesos, which is the amount at the end of its second year. For its last year, or its third year, the new principal value is the future value we saw in its second year, which is 55,125 pesos. Let us do now the simple interest. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Final answer for simple interest is 2,756.25 pesos. For the future value, substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Final answer for future value is 52,881, 51,881.25 pesos. The required answer to the problem is 51,881.25 pesos. Computation of the compound amount by the method we used a while ago is tedious and time-consuming. Here are the formulas we can use in solving compound interest that will greatly help us in solving it. For finding the compound amount or maturity value, compound amount or maturity value or future value is equals to the product of the present value of f and the parentheses of the sum of 1 and I, or periodic rate that is raised by n, or the total number of conversion period, wherein I, or the periodic rate, is equals to the quotient of the annual interest rate and the conversion period, and n, or the total number of conversion period, is equals to the product of conversion period and its time. Remember that m, or conversion period, can be either annually, where m is equals to 1, semi-annually, where m is equals to 2, quarterly, where m is equals to 4, monthly, where m is equals to 12. For finding the present value of f, present value of f is equals to the product of future value and the parentheses of the sum of 1 and periodic rate that is raised to negative total number of conversion periods. For finding the compound interest is equals to the difference of future value and present value of f. For finding the annual interest rate is equals to the product of conversion period and the parentheses of the difference future value over present value of f that is raised by 1 over the total number of conversion period and 1. Finding the time per year, the time is equals to the quotient of log of future value over present value of f all over m multiplied by the parentheses of log 1 plus periodic rate. To move on, let us have an example of problem solving involving compound interest. Problem solving involving compound interest. Number 1. Find the compound amount and interest earned on 15,000 peso for 1 year at A, 7% compounded semi-annually, and B, 7% compounded quarterly. Let us do letter A, 7% compounded semi-annually. Given are the following. We have the present value of f, annual interest rate, time per year, and conversion period, which is semi-annually, where m is equals to 2. This is the formula we're going to use. First is to solve for periodic rate. Periodic rate is equals to the quotient of annual interest rate over conversion period. We have I is equals to 0.035. Next is to solve for n, or the total number of conversion period. Total number of conversion period is equals to the product of conversion period times time. So we have n is equals to 2. Let us now continue the solution. Use the formula in finding the compound interest. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform its operation. The final answer for compound interest is 1,068.38 pesos. Now, let us do letter B, 7% compounded quarterly. Given are the following. We have the present value of f, the annual interest rate, the time per year, and conversion period, which is quarterly, where m is equals to 4. First is to solve for the periodic rate. Periodic rate is equals to the quotient of annual interest rate and conversion period. We have I is equals to 0.0175. Next is to solve for the solve for n, or total number of conversion period. Total number of conversion periods is equals to the product of conversion period and time. N is equals to 4 times 1 is equals to 4. This is the formula we're going to use. in finding the compound interest. Now, use the formula in finding the compound interest. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Final answer for compound interest is 1,077.80 pesos. Number 2. Find the present value of 12,850 pesos due in 3 years if the interest rate is 6% compounded monthly. Given are the following. We have the future value, the annual interest rate, the time, and the conversion period, which is 12 or monthly. First is to solve the periodic rate. Periodic rate is equals to the quotient of annual interest rate over conversion period. So we have I is equals to 0.005. Next is to solve for N, or the total number of conversion period. Total number of conversion periods is equals to the product of conversion period and time. So we have N is equals to 12 times 3 is equals to 36. Let us now continue the solution. Use the formula in finding the present value of F. Substitute the given to the formula. Now, perform the operation. Final answer for present value of F is 10,738.04 pesos. Number 3. How many years will it take for 13,000 to become 20,000 at 12.5% compounded annually? Given are the following. We have the present value of F, future value, conversion period, which is annually, or M is equals to 1, and the annual interest rate. First is to solve for I, or the periodic rate. Periodic rate is equals to the quotient of annual interest rate and conversion period. In this example, we have I is equals to 0.0125. Now, let us continue the solution. Use the formula in finding the time. Substitute the given to the formula. Now perform the operation. The final answer for time is 3.66 years. For your evaluation, do the following on a separate sheet of paper. First direction. Complete the table below by solving the unknown quantities in each row. Second direction. Solve the following solving problems involving simple and compound interest. Number 1. Find the simple interest on a loan of 65,000 peso if the loan is given at a rate of 2% and is due in 5 years and 3 months. Number 2. How much money will you have after 4 years if you have deposited 10,000 peso in a bank that pays 6% simple interest? Number 3. Find the final and compound amount of 15,900 peso at 5.5% interest compounded annually for 18 months. Number 4. Find the interest of 25,750 pesos for 3 years at 8% compounded quarterly. Number 5. At what rate of interest compounded semi-annually will 21,590 pesos accumulated to 26,900 pesos in 2 years? Last number, Reka borrows 35,400 pesos and agrees to pay 47,500 pesos after 2 years. At what rate compounded monthly is the interest computed?
That's all for today. Thank you for watching.